Most interviews will end with the interviewer asking you, the candidate, if you have any questions. Do you even need to ask questions? Find out what to ask that gets you closer to the job offer. I'm Jen with the Career Force. We help smart, career-minded professionals land their next job. For more career advice, check out our new videos, which are posted every Thursday. Why should you even ask questions during a job interview? Well, think about a job interview as a two-way street. The interviewer is trying to figure out if they want you to work for them, but you're also trying to figure out if you want to work for them. So asking good questions gives you insight into what the job's like, what the company's like, and if it's something you're even interested in. It also shows that you're interested in the position. Everyone should have some question they ask, and it shouldn't be something easily found on the website. Prepare insightful questions that teach you more about what working at this company will be like. Let's look at a few guidelines for creating good questions, some sample questions you could ask, and some questions you should definitely avoid. Here's a few guidelines for forming your questions. First, ask open-ended questions. These are questions that don't have a yes or no answer. By asking questions that require a longer answer, you force your interviewer to elaborate more. This helps engage them and get them into a good conversation. Next, ask authentic questions. If you don't care about the topic, don't bother asking. It doesn't benefit anyone. You don't learn anything. Be prepared. Have a list of your questions written down in advance. In the moment, when you're asked if you have any questions, it might be hard to think of them. Let's go over a few sample questions you can ask. Use these as inspiration to come up with your own questions. You can ask questions about the position. This could look like, if I'm successful in this job, what do you hope I've accomplished in the first 6 months? You could also ask, is this a new position or did someone hold the job before me? Sometimes if someone's held the job before you, you can ask a little bit more about that. So did they leave because they were unhappy with the job? Did they get a promotion? This gives you an idea of the career paths you might also have outside of this position. You could also ask questions about the company. Keep in mind that these questions shouldn't be things that are easily found on the company website. You could ask questions about company culture. So what do you like and dislike about the company culture? This asks a personal question of the interviewer, but also gives you insight into how the company operates as a whole. Here's one of my personal favorites. Tell me about your employees that really stand out. What do they do differently? I feel like this is such an interesting question because it forces them to think about who's really successful and specifically why are they so successful. You could also ask questions about the team or department. This could look like, how does this team contribute to the success of the customer? This can be a great question because it puts the customer first. The customer is the reason everyone in the company is employed, and their success determines the company's success. Here's another question. Can you tell me about the team I'll be working with? This helps you understand how you fit in, what the culture is like within that little subgroup, and all these things can be a little bit different than how things operate in the company as a whole. Are there questions you want to ask during a job interview but you're not sure if they're okay? Comment with your thoughts below. You probably found a few questions among the samples that I gave that you might want to use in your next interview. Use these to come up with additional questions. We've talked about some questions you can ask, so what shouldn't you ask? There are only a few categories of questions that really should be avoided. The first, don't ask anything that you should know already. This means if it's on the company's website, you should know it and you shouldn't be asking about it. It just makes it look like you're not a serious candidate. The second question to avoid is questions about salary and benefits. You'll either already be told this by the interviewer or HR, or it will come up later in the process. Don't jump the gun and ask things too early in the interview. On that note, don't get ahead of schedule on other questions. Unless it's really going to determine whether you take the job, it doesn't matter how you schedule vacation time. So avoid questions on these minor details until after the job offer is made. For more interview insights, as well as the other keys to landing your next job, check out the link below to my cheat sheet on the 5 critical tips to landing your next job. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.